Hey, good old Grief here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Conway the Machine's new album, From a King to a God. For those who don't know, Conway the Machine is a New York-based rapper, actually out of Buffalo, and he's part of the rap group Griselda, which includes West Side Gun and Benny the Butcher. And while each of them bring, a special thing to the group, West Side Gun with his voice and his delivery, and Benny the Butcher with his consistency, I would say Conway the Machine's best strength is his lyricism and his very homegrown delivery. If you've ever listened to him, you know how he sounds. It's a very 90s boom bap style, and he doesn't really stray from that. So going into this album, I didn't expect anything else other than that. Unfortunately, or fortunately, he delivered exactly that. There is not much variety on this album. There isn't much change in delivery, but I wouldn't necessarily say that's a bad thing because he does it really well. However, if you don't like that style of music, you're not going to like this album. I just want to preface it with that. That being said, let's just work through a couple of the songs. First song of the album is From King. The song starts off with this heavy beat announcing its presence. The delivery kind of gave me Rick Ross vibes on how he entered it especially, and it's just full of bravado. There was a nice line in there about talking about Brodies, and then rhyming that with D'Antoni, just alluding to the Westbrook-D'Antoni relationship in Houston. And he's just saying how, he's a king, he was already a king, now he wants to be a god. He believes he's up there with the gods, the goats of the game, and he deserves to be treated as such. The next song, Fear of God with Dej Loaf, isn't that great of a song. I do like the variety in terms of the Dej Loaf feature, but it feels like 5 years too late. I'm not a big fan of Dej Loaf. I didn't think she had a great verse here, and overall, the impact of the song just didn't give much to me. However, Lemon featuring Method Man is actually a really good song. So Method Man hasn't had a good feature in a long time. However, he really came through on this one. Also, I really like the chorus, how it kind of works off when life gives you lemons and is talking about squeezing. Method Man's whole verse just fits perfectly into this song. He's talking about the street life, the sourness of it all, and it just works to be a really good song because the beat is so grimy and it just fits the mood perfectly. Doe and Damani is a two-part song. So the first part is Doe. I believe it's produced by Alchemist and just sounds like such an Alchemist beat. I really enjoyed it. Doe is talking about his street jobs, whether it talks about selling drugs or dealing with his other stuff. It has a relaxed tone to go along with the beat, while Damani is a lot darker, a lot more grimy, and he mentions throwing jabs at the new generations. However, the beat is really good. Skipping over Juvenile Hell since I didn't really like it. Going to Front Lines, I always appreciated the boom 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 ad-libs to start the song, and the beat is just absolutely amazing. I would love to hear someone like Action Bronson with his screaming to go on it. Conway rides the beat really well. The only real complaint with the song is the chorus, so I really don't like the way he says outside. It's a small nitpick, but it bothered me upon re-listening to it a couple times. In the second verse, a notable thing is that he calls out 6ix9ine for being a rat, which I found pretty funny. And then he mentions the killing of George Floyd's and police brutality in America in general. Anza is an okay song, nothing great about it. Armani Caesar's verse is fine. Nothing really stood out though. Moving on to Seen Everything But Jesus featuring Freddie Gibbs. It seems like Freddie Gibbs is paying him back for the solid verse that Conway delivered on Alfredo. Both of them share similar experiences, so they could really work off each other and really tell a story. Freddie's verse is a little bit short, especially since part of it was in a singing voice, which didn't really vibe for me, but overall it's a fine song. Working over to Forever Dropping Tears, it's one of the sadder songs on the album, as the beat is a somber tone and talks about old memories about hanging out with a friend who eventually died, and how it's important to cherish the time. And it's a nice change of pace from the album. You don't really see Conway delve into his emotions too much, so I really appreciated it. Jesus Christus is one of the shorter songs, but he definitely bounces back from that sad vibe to his usual bravado. The beat's a little bit too simple for me, but the ad-libs add some spice. And then finally, Nothing Less is a relaxed song to wrap up the project. Conway feels at peace with his position in the game. He feels established as a god. And like an elder looking back on his journey, he has progressed through life and he feels really accomplished. The song isn't anything special, but it fits the theme of the album really well, so it's a necessary ending. In general, there isn't much experimentation with this album. You're not going to hear anything new from Conway, and I just want to really hammer that down. But what Conway does, he's good at. He's good at delivering that 90s style. He's good at delivering aggressive flows. He's good at giving witty lyricism. He talks about the street life. He talks about his personal life. He doesn't talk that much about his emotions, but sometimes he does. But he does all that stuff well. Some of my favorite songs on the album were definitely Lemon. Method Man's verse was amazing on it. Dough into Money is also a good song. Front Lines is a good song. And then Spurs 3, which I forgot to mention, is the Griselda song where all three of the members are on it together. And that was a really good song as well. And if I had to give a rating to it, I would give it a 6 out of 10. Just because it's not going to give you anything super special, but it's solid and it's consistent. I would give it a higher rating if he actually did something else. Also, I feel like it isn't that hard to do what he's doing. While he definitely does it well, I don't see a lot of difficulty in it compared to other rappers trying to transcend their norms and go above and beyond. So because of that, it's only a 6 out of 10, but it is definitely a good album, and it's definitely worth listening to. But other than that, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you around.